I think I can comfortably say that one of the best parts of my job is that I get to see some very innovative and beautifully designed bits of tech. And today is no different because I'm here with Paul Routledge from Charge Amps, a Swedish company who make these beautiful chargers. And we're going to learn about what Charge Amps is up to. So welcome, Paul.
Thank you, it's great to be here. So, Charge Amps, founded in 2012. Our founder, Fredrik Jonsson, was one of the early purchasers of an electric vehicle. Fredrik recognised that for such a high-tech car, EV charging was anything but smart and the materials used were anything but sustainable, and that gave birth to Charge Amps. The first innovation was a charging cable that remained flexible in harsh Nordic conditions where it can be up to 25 degrees, minus 25 degrees. After that, we developed the Halo product, so that was launched in 2015. And in 2016, we launched the Charge Amps Cloud, making everyday life easier for people to charge their electric vehicles. In 2019, Charge Amps Aura was launched, designed by industrial designer Joachim Nordwell. Joachim was head designer on the Koenigsegg supercars.
Right, wow.
Both Halo and Aura are manufactured in sustainable, recyclable materials. We're now delighting customers in over 15 countries worldwide. A beautiful exterior, intelligent interior, and a leading cloud platform.
So I'm not seeing any buttons because I've got a charger that's got some buttons. I don't know. So how do you actually control it? I mean, I love the look of this, and particularly this connector is peachy. But let's do that in a minute. So how do you actually control the chargers?
So via a cloud application or via an app. So either or both. So there's a cloud-based platform. That cloud-based platform, it provides data for users, for facilities managers, or for installers. So there's kind of three levels of integration there. You get advanced features like load balancing, so you can balance the load across the sockets of a single Aura, or if you've got a number of these on a site, you can load balance across maybe, so you're looking at maybe 20 or 30 in a car park, that type of thing. We've also got the app, so that allows users to be able to control their own chargers. I use mine on a schedule, so you can turn the charging socket on and off for security, that type of thing.
So you brought in these two models of your range, and I'm assuming the one nearest me, this one is a domestic one you'd put on the wall of your house or your garage, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. So Charge Amps Halo for domestic charging applications, it's a 7.4 kilowatt charger, and then Charge Amps Aura is for more commercial applications. So this is a three-phase product, dual 22 kilowatt sockets on it. So we can load balance across the two sockets, as I mentioned earlier. Both of them controlled via the app or via the cloud service. So you get reporting on how much energy you use, and you can look at individual users. So who's using what. You've got RFID functionality as well, so that you can secure for unauthorized charging.
Right.
So you can start charging either with RFID or instant charging on the app, or set a schedule on the app.
So that would be the same for this. If you can set the schedule, so you could come home, plug your car in. It doesn't start charging until there's a cheaper tariff late at night or a cleaner tariff.
Exactly. Or if you're already at home and you're running low on power, you need to get out somewhere. So on the app you can switch it on anyway. Right. So you've got an instant. Mine charges from about midnight. But if I need it, I know that I've got that instant charge just on the app, so that I can charge and go. So whether you're looking for a single charger for a domestic application, for a home application, or a fleet manager, or maybe you're a manager of a housing association or an apartment building. So Charge Amps Aura would work perfectly in that kind of setting. So
I'm intrigued at this idea though, because at my house I have a dumb socket and a smart socket. So, but definitely sockets that I have to have a cable to plug that in. But you've gone for a tethered option on this. What is the thinking behind that?
So it's a 7.5 metre cable. So wherever the car's parked, you can usually reach your charging point on the car. I find that having a tethered cable is just makes life so much easier. The charger that came with the car is always in the wrong places. With a tethered cable, it means I can just park up, connect the car, go into the house. I've got the schedule set on the app, so I know that overnight the car will charge. It just makes life a lot easier.
And you don't have to wind up the cable in the morning and put it in the car.
Exactly, yeah, because in the morning you're rushing to get out, you've got to unplug the cable and try and wind it back up. Yeah. So, yeah.
I have definitely, one time in my life, and I got told off, there was newly dry cleaned clothes in the back of the car, and I was charging the car in the rain, and I took the cable in and just chucked it in the back. I was very unpopular because that ruined all the dry cleaning.
You need a tethered charger.
I needed a tethered charger. That would have solved my problems. And one of the things I like about this, I'm just going to unhook it. That is so light. and so, you know, because we're used to very heavy, thick cables that are quite hard and really big, chunky connectors. This just feels a lot easier to use. I really love the design of it.
Do you know what? So that's back to that original innovation, a cable that remains flexible in that, you know, in those very harsh Nordic climates.
Yeah, it feels the cabling feels very, very different. And because there's always been a doubt in my mind, you know, I know how much power is going through this cable, 7.5 kilowatts. That's not that much. You know, that's an oven. It's not a ship. It's not that huge. And yet we have these incredible, I can understand the early adoption of, you know, heavy duty safety, but clearly it looks very futuristic. So clearly one of the key things, certainly for businesses that are putting a load of charges in their car parks, is the load balancing, and there's a lot of background stuff that I'm now aware goes on. So and these are built with that in mind, are they?
Yeah. So the Charge Amps Cloud includes load balancing. So again, I mentioned load balancing across the sockets on Charge Amps Aura, or on a number of units that might be on a single site. It could be a mix of Charge Amps Aura and Charge Amps Halo as well. So you're mixing that power across. Also, load balancing means that you're really making the best use of the output, better economy, and of course enhanced safety. The Charge Amps Cloud also manages automatic phase allocation. So I mentioned this is a 3-phase unit. So what our cloud application does, it manages the phase used for charging. So the phase that's got the least load on it will be used for charging. Now those features are usually something that with other manufacturers they're an add-on. At the moment it's just something that's included with the Charge Amp solution.
And so then you could be running a serious amount of charges in a car park then, and that is a manageable way of dealing with the load that puts on the local.
Yeah, definitely.
Local grid.
And from an integration point of view, looking at those different lots of charging sockets within a car park, we have a pole mount for the Aura solution, so you can mount 2 back to back, so you get 4 22 kilowatt chargers in a real
with
small,
one pole,
small and neat application.
So if there's a long row of these in a car park, say either in a business or even in a public car park, how do you manage access to them? How would I be able to charge my car using one?
Looking particularly at the Charge Amps Aura, so if you're looking at a business that provides charging for their employees, the Charge Amp Cloud provides everything that you need to be able to charge your vehicles and to be able to monitor and manage that charging process. There's an API in our cloud which enables us to connect to other applications, so the ability to kind of tap and pay. Then so yes, we can integrate with kind of tap and pay systems.
Right, okay. Oh, so that's not a big challenge for you. That's something you've kind of built into the system.
Something we've built in, something that's working well, yeah.
Now, you talked about like load balancing for a business, say, that's got a lot of chargers. But what, if you've got domestic chargers and loads of people using those, and we all plug in at the worst, say, 6 o'clock in the evening, where there's already high demand, we're really not helping the situation. Is there a way of load balancing across the grid, if you like?
Yeah. So there's the Charge Amp Guard, which is it's a dynamic load balancer, so it balances the load on your other applications, say within your house and your charging infrastructure. It also enables integration with solar panels, so that if you're taking electricity from solar applications using AmpGuard, you can balance that with the feed that's coming into your house as well, so that you can maximise the use of your energy.
Right. Because it's a good point, because there's quite a lot of people with electric cars. The two things go hand in hand. They've done surveys about it. If you get an electric car, you want solar. If you've got solar, you want an electric car. So there's integration of those two things really, really important.
AmpGuard for that application, perfect.
But now the other technology that's developing very fast that I'm very excited about, because it's becoming possible, is vehicle to grid or vehicle to home or vehicle to business. Is that built into your charges? Is that a thing that you could do with them?
Yeah, certainly. So Charge Amps Aura is ISO 15118 ready, so that's that whole vehicle to grid application.
Right, and that is that's really interesting. So the chargers can do it. At the moment, it's the car manufacturers that are dithering in this area. But it is such an obvious thing to do. I think it's going to catch on big time.
Yep, we're ready for it.
So you've been going since 2015. I must admit, I'm not familiar with the product, but it's obviously well established in Europe. But you're fairly new in the UK. Would that be fair to say?
That's fair. Yeah, we're fairly new in the UK, but we've got lots of customers across Europe. So customers and businesses that are design conscious, they value sustainability. They value the data that that we can provide that optimizes that charging experience. Just talking about, kind of design conscious. We choose our vehicles for, a number of things. We look at performance, we look at heritage, we look at design. And from a charger point of view, that charger is going to be on your home, your business, your apartment building for a good number of years. So I think, you need to look at the design. You need to choose something that you're happy to be there for, for a good number of years. Also, with the Charge Amps Aura, it's IK10 rated, so it's a vandal-resistant product. So again, something that customers really, really do value. And then, I suppose, overarching all of that is the Charge Amps Cloud. So that ability to really manage your charging infrastructure from anywhere at any time.
Right. And I mean, that is a critically important thing. Is ease of use. I mean, it's something I rant and rave about all the time, that, that to make it as frictionless as possible for the end user, to plug in a car and start charging it. If it's 10 times more complicated than buying a bag of crisps, then I think there's something wrong with the system. It's good. So if you've made that system relatively straightforward, to be able to charge the car on the charger. If you're away from home, obviously I'm talking about public charging more, or businesses, that is a massive step forward. That's so important.
Do you know, I think the most important part of installing a charger is that last 20 minutes of showing the customer how to use it, how to access the cloud, how to use the app. That's the piece that, really, really important. As you say, it needs to be as easy as opening a bag of crisps. Yeah. To be able to actually use the products, you've made that investment, you've got a beautiful charger on the wall. That last just 20 minutes or so, learning how to use the product is absolutely, that's vital.
So if someone at their house or a business, in fact, wanted to install some Charge Amp chargers, how do they go about starting that process?
First place to start that process would be our website, which is chargeamps.com. We also have an online training portal for installers. We've got an army of installers out there, but we're always looking for more installers. So check out chargeamps.com/academy. We also offer marketing services and support for installers, so kind of giving a bit back to the channel.
So so the people who are installing them know the whole picture. Essentially, that's the important thing. It's not just putting a bolt in the wall to hang it on. It's a bit. There's
a little bit more behind it rather than just a bolt in the wall. And again, that last 20 minutes, that explaining to the customer how to get the most out of that Charge Amps Cloud and how to use the app effectively.
So I think that's critically important. So the person that installs this in your house, for example, will also explain how best to use it and what the app is and how you use it. Is that the case?
And that again, that's the vital piece. To me, that's that vital piece, that last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of showing the customer exactly how to use a solution. And that's where the Charge Amps Academy comes in, making sure that we've got those certified installers that provide that real quality of service as well as real high quality product.
And not wishing to plug us too much, but you're going to be at Fully Charged Live this year, which is fantastic news. That's really good.
We are really looking forward to it. So yes, we'll be at Fully Charged Live. Please, come along and see us. I think it starts from the 29th of April.
29th of April, that's right.
Also, looking for more information, go to our website, which is chargeamps.com, and look out for us on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Brilliant, Paul. Thank you so much for coming along and showing us this today. I just think they do look gorgeous. Now, all the links to Charge Amp's site and everything are in the show notes beneath this episode, as are links to the Fully Charged Live show, where they're going to be on display, so you can come and see them in 3D. Please do subscribe to Fully Charged Plus, because they've got a lot of amazing new shows coming on the channel. And that's it. As always, if you have been, thank you for watching.